Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker at online booksellers today. The SJS Direct 2023 catalog launches on March 31st, and I'm going to give everybody a rundown of the titles that are going to be coming as part of the SJS Direct 2023 Spring Catalog. Now, the SJS Direct 2023 Spring Catalog launches with John Haynes, Godbreaker, the sixth book in the John Haynes series, and in this sixth book in the John Haynes series, John Haynes takes on the Asgardian god of thunder, Thor. Now, John Haynes' Godbreaker takes place right after John Haynes at Death's Door, and Thor, on hearing that John Haynes has defeated Thanatos in John Haynes at Death's Door, sees John Haynes as a threat to the realms and wants to go out here and issue a challenge to him. Now, I took a lot of inspiration for this story from many of the classic Ron Frenz Thor comics that I read when I was a teenager, and I make this book basically to have a lot of fun in the style of Ron Frenz's old classic Thor comics. And I also, in this story, am following a theme as to what makes John Haynes a hero, so you definitely want to pick up John Haynes Godbreaker when it officially launches on March 31st in paperback, and you can pre-order your copy of John Haynes at Death's Door in digital format at all online booksellers like Google Play, Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Barnes & Noble's Nook. And you can also, on March 31st, get John Haynes' Godbreaker in paperback at all online booksellers such as Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, and Barnes & Noble. So that is the first book that's launching as part of the SJS Direct 2023 catalog. The second book that will be launching is not a fantasy title, but a Christian fiction title by my good friend Lawrence Cherry. Now, Lawrence Cherry has been writing a lot of great Christian fiction, and I have given him a space on the SJS Direct imprint to showcase a series of friends in books like Commencement, books like School of Hard Knocks, books like The Atonement, and books like A Father's Love. And those four books create the Commencement saga, which everybody is able to get free on Smashwords, and you'll be able to get this book free on Smashwords on April 28th, The Retreat. Now, The Retreat follows the story of several black men who have gone on a church retreat where they're looking to learn more about themselves and grow in a relationship with the Most High and His Son, the Messiah. And this book was one, as I read it, I absolutely loved it, and Larry did a great job showing how men have to go out here and grow in their relationship with the Most High. And it's a fantastic story that I am just happy to share with all of you. And Lawrence is offering this up free on Smashwords on April 28th. But if you want to help Lawrence be able to pay for things like the stock photos I put on the cover for The Retreat, you can go out here and pick up the paperback edition on Amazon.com right now. And if you want to get that free copy delivered to your device, you can pre-order it right now on Google Play. But you can also pre-order it at other online booksellers, but it won't be free right now. But it will be free on April 28th. And Lawrence has done such a great job that, again, I am eager to share this book with you, and I'm eager to share it all with you and get more readers into the Christian Commencement saga. So I'm hoping to share this saga with you, and I'm hoping to get the grand finale because Lawrence tells me he's currently working on it right now. So the last book in the series is coming, and I've had a lot of people back in the day, they would contact me about Alan and Tim and Jim and the Commencement saga, but this saga is getting ready to wrap up, and The Retreat is the next to last book, so you definitely don't want to miss it on April 28th. Now, as related, the third book in the SJS Direct catalog that will be coming is the 7th book in the John Haynes series, and the 7th book is called John Haynes 1987. Now, John Haynes 1987 is a story that takes us back to John Haynes' past, and it's a story that shows us what makes John Haynes a hero and follows the theme that is related to John Haynes' Godbreaker, where I'm talking about what makes John Haynes a hero, what are the internal character traits, and what motivates him to continue fighting the good fight. And both John Haynes' Godbreaker and John Haynes 1987, again, follow this theme, and this theme is something that was inspired by the late Marvel Comics creator Stan Lee, who oftentimes when he made his heroes in their origins, he wanted to show what motivated them, what was their reason for becoming a hero, and this was something that I wanted to showcase in both books. John Haynes' Godbreaker, which shows John's reasons for doing what's right in the present, and in 1987 shows what made the foundations for him on his quest to do good. Both of these books, again, form a theme, and they also flow as parallels to the temptation of John Haynes. That is what 1987 is really all about. We see a contrast in the relationship between John's first girlfriend, Tisha, and his current girlfriend, Esteem. We see a complete parallel between the two. So John Haynes 1987 is a book you definitely don't want to miss. I really enjoyed writing this story because I really love telling stories about the time of the 80s, and as a child of the 80s, it was fun to go back in time and talk about all the great things that went on in the world in the 80s. And I also make a great tribute to Black fathers in John Haynes 1987 and show the important role a father plays in helping a boy to become a man. So there's a lot in John Haynes 1987 I think people will definitely enjoy, and I'm hoping to have that book out very soon. I just talked to Mike Williams about doing the cover for John Haynes in 1987. I'm editing John Haynes 1987 right now, and I'm hoping to have John Haynes 1987 out soon, towards the end of maybe possibly May or June, depending on where Mike's schedule is. But I will let people know when John Haynes 1987 comes out. This one is going to be a big book because it's over 200 pages. So this is going to be a lot longer than many of my other John Haynes series books, which usually clock anywhere from 50 to about 70 pages. This one is over 200 pages, and it will be a great summer beach read. It'll be a great read for the teens and tweens in your family, and it will show you an example of a boy growing into manhood. So this is a great YA story that basically it would be a lot of fun to read about the 80s, and it's it's not really a fantasy flashback story like Easting the Sands of Time or Isis Imitation of Life. This is a great YA contemporary story, and it's one that the Most High told me to go out here and write about John's early years, and it was something that I wanted to share with everybody because, again, I had this theme for this year about showing about what made John Haynes a hero, and I can't wait to share John Haynes 1987 with you. This is, again, a fun story, a great story with a lot that'll take you back to the days of the 80s if you grew up in it, and it'll really make you think about what makes a boy grow up to become a man in this great coming of age story. Now, I'm going to give everybody a little progress report on the Isis and Easting books. The reason why there are no Isis and Easting books starting out the catalog like I usually do is due to the fact that I was very busy last year working on the John Haynes at Death's Door Kickstarter, working on The Woman Crisis, and both of those projects, they took a lot more work than I had expected, and I had to do a lot of research in order to go out here and make The Woman Crisis the best book it could be. I was basically trying to edit the book and trying to make sure that chapters weren't repeating too much information. So it was a lot of work trying to get the woman crisis out here. It was a lot of work working on the Kickstarter, working on the logistics of the Kickstarter, working with Antonio on making sure getting the art on time, working on with Gons on getting the letters together on time, and also working on getting the books printed and shipped to everyone. So I didn't really have time to do like I usually do in the summer, because I usually write my Isis and Eastine books in the summer. So sadly, I wasn't able to come out with a new Isis and Eastine story because I just was so busy working on trying to make sure that everybody got their comics from John Haynes at Death's Door on the Kickstarter on time. And I wanted to make sure that The Woman Crisis was the best book it could be for its fall 2022 launch. So unfortunately, I didn't have time to start writing the new Isis and Eastine books, but until I can get those books out, what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about doing a refresh on the Isis series cover for Amari's Revenge, and I may reissue Amari's Revenge and have that be the book for 2023. And I also may do an Eastine book as a book for 2023 with a brand new cover, because there were some Eastine books that from the early stories that never were made into paperback, because I didn't start producing Eastine paperbacks until Eastine Undercover. Usually when I did Eastine, it was digital, and that's because the character was popular in digital. But I may offer an Eastine book in paperback for the first time. Maybe a story like Demons Anonymous, maybe a story like Fairy Tale, or maybe I might even do a cover for Witches of Eastland, even though there is a paperback, or one of my other favorite Eastine stories, Little Girl Lost, with Brimstone Jack and those demon strippers getting beat up. I might do those as cover refreshes, but I really want the books to be the best quality, so I didn't want to just slap and rush something out, because with Isis, I had just finished the second story arc with Legacy, and I was thinking and planning about where I wanted to go with the character for the third story arc. So I was taking my time thinking about what kind of story I want to tell with the goddess next door, now that I've introduced Colleen from the Thetas and have her meet her in Legacy. So I'm thinking about where I want to go with the third story arc. I mean, there's story points from the main event I want to touch on about Isis actualizing her potential as a goddess and moving her life forward. This was a theme that was followed in main event and Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. And I want to get Eastine back on track as related to her growth with her relationship with Christ and her taking on more supernatural foes. This was something that I was exploring in Horror of the Hyena Woman, which seemed to be one of the more popular Eastine books. And I'm looking to try to get both Isis and Eastine story arcs together. I'm working currently on an Eastine book right now that I think is going to be a lot of fun, that brings back a villain from Escape from Transylvania. And I'm also thinking about working on a couple of Isis series stories. I want to bring Golden Shine back for another story, and I'm working on some new rogues for Isis. So I want the third story arc to introduce some new characters, and I want to further develop other characters, because the second story arc with John Haynes was a major success for the Isis character. It really built up her momentum. It really helped the character grow, and I really want to continue maintaining that momentum with quality stories. So that's why I have to put a delay on Isis and Eastine stories, because I want to just really take a minute to think about what I'm writing. I don't want to rush stuff out like I did when I first started the Isis series, because when I first started the Isis series, I was trying to do 4 books a month, and the quality wasn't that good. But as I started to regroup on All About the Goddess, and then I started working with Bill Walko on covers, things started to really pick up steam. And when I did Bride of Dracula, it really started to pick up. And a lot of people like Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. Not a lot of people came back for the cooldown story Legacy, But the whole thing is I want to regroup and start working on some new bad guys. I've got a mummy character. I want to bring Goldenshine back. And I possibly want to bring in an Incubus and do it sort of similar to Dark Succubus story on ISIS. And I also got some villains for Eve's Theme that I want to work on. So I've got a lot of stuff that I want to work on, and I've already completed the 2024 John Haynes book, John Haynes Illuminati, and I'm hoping to come out with a 2024 catalog that is strong. But for 2023, what I'm doing is I'm looking to start and build the momentum as related to sales, which have been a little soft lately, and I'm hoping to rebuild momentum with John Haynes Godbreaker. And again, you can be a part of kicking off the 2023 catalog on March 31st when John Haynes Godbreaker kicks off the 2023 catalog. Now, you can pre-order John Haynes Godbreaker on Amazon.com on Kindle right now, and you can also pre-order Lawrence Cherry's The Retreat on Amazon, Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play if you want to pay to continue to support Larry in his work, or you can wait until April 28th when the book is released for free. So those are the first two books of the SJS Direct 2023 catalog, and I'm hoping to have something out on John Haynes 1987 soon. Be on the lookout for the ads for The Retreat, which are coming soon. Got a lot of material waiting out here for you, and I hope you'll be there to pick up some of the great books on the SJS Direct 2023 catalog. And if you want to help me be able to continue publishing work and paying artists for covers for books in the ISIS series, the Eve's Theme series, and the John Haynes series, and other projects like I want to do a Spinsterella project soon, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App, and that helps me be able to pay comic artists for covers or pay comic artists for comic projects, and it also helps me be able to continue doing things like live streams and being able to make videos. So all your donations are just a great help to me in continuing to build the SJS Direct imprint, and I appreciate your support in advance. And if you want to, again, pick up any of these books, you can click the links to Amazon.com or Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play, and you'll be able to get all of these different books on the SJS Direct imprint, have over 80 to 90 great titles, and I would look forward to you picking them all up. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at Lulu.com today.